guys, welcome back to another video. I hope everybody is doing amazing today. Today's just gonna be a little more chill. It's gonna be me just journaling, catching up on it because I'm missing this section and then I'm missing all of this right here. And I don't know, I guess I just haven't had much inspiration to journal, honestly, but I'm gonna get caught up today. I'm off. And it's just gonna be kind of like a chat with me and journal with me. I'm gonna make this a series. I don't know what I'll name it yet. Of course, you guys will know by the time you watch this video because I would have decided a name. Right now, I'm in between a couple of things, but we'll see. But I should be filling out those gray pages, but I will not be today just because I don't think that's gonna be fun. I want you guys to see a fully blank page. No words on it yet. I want you guys to be there for like the entirety of the experience. So I have fallen so far behind that I have not even filled out my boxes, which is terrible. So that's just what I'm doing here. And I will just be kind of talking about some events that transpired recently. I don't know. I was thinking of making this more of a Q&A, but then I don't know, I want to leave that for like the full videos of where I'm like going through my planner and showing you guys everything. I don't think I want to do a Q&A for something like this. I want to make it a series where I just sit down, journal, and then just yap for the entirety of the video. But I do have something, I guess, kind of fun to share with you. At least, I mean, it's fun for me, I guess. But I don't know, I've been wanting to do this for a long time because a lot of people do ask me to post like the slower versions of like me journaling just so they can see, because of course I do the reels and everything, but that's really quick, really sped up just because I'd like to keep within that frame or that time frame. But I do get a lot of requests of people just like asking me to slow it down, you know, so I wanted to finally come on here and do this. Also, of course, I'm gonna apologize for this in every single video, but my lighting will change throughout this video. Apologies. It stays pretty consistent because I found a good like time when to journal, but it still does change here and there. Unfortunately, I tried to counteract it and try to be fast so that it didn't change, but unfortunately the weather here does not know what to do with itself, so sorry about that. But if you guys saw, I put a band-aid over my middle finger because I have a very bad writer's bump, and I don't know when that happened. I kind of always wrote without it, but then as soon as I started using my fountain pen this year, I developed it. I don't know if it's because I've been writing more or if it's because of the pen, but I guess I'm gonna have it for the rest of my life because I love my pen. I'm not gonna give it up. So I put a band-aid there just to kind of alleviate some of the pain and pressure because there is a lot of it. You guys will see by the end of the video that I move my pen around constantly, and that is because it is in so much pain. It's like a sharp feeling going through my middle finger, which sucks. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope you guys enjoy this style of content as well. It's very weird for me to just sit here and talk. That's why I always, just put my feelings into my planner. But I hope you guys do enjoy it, and I hope you guys find some inspiration, and maybe you guys want to journal along. That is kind of the purpose of this video, just so you guys can watch me write and then maybe get inspiration to write yourselves, just in case you guys are feeling as unmotivated as I was a couple of weeks ago. I would have loved to just sit there and watch this. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoy. So the biggest thing that has happened so far is that I quit my job of 2 years on Friday. It's been a long time coming. I have been thinking about doing this for a very long time, at least 2 months. I always knew that I was gonna be leaving. I just didn't know when, but I was very comfortable at work. I was. And things have transpired that kind of made it a little bit difficult for me to continue to want to stay there. And I tried. I really did try to just be okay with it and deal with it and just be okay with the change. And I was okay with the change until one specific thing. There were a lot of factors that went into my final decision of leaving. But there was one really big factor. So I'll just talk about it. So, number one, the first thing that happened is that corporate decided to go on a firing spree. They fired everybody. They didn't touch my department for some reason. Well, they did. They fired my manager. That was the only person. Aside from that, they fired all of management. Every single department's manager was fired within 2 months. So it was a lot of change, and we all did our best to go with it. It's a learning curve, learning new people's work styles and then getting along with everybody, but it worked. It really did. And after a while, we had a pretty strong team. At least I thought so. I loved the people that I worked with. And I don't know, I just thought that everybody did initially get along. But what's good never lasts, I suppose, right? So, my manager, unfortunately, ended up getting fired as well. That was about 2.5 months ago. And it was sad. It was very sad because I did love him. And, we still keep in contact. He's really cool. And we got somebody new on. And I thought that she was going to be good for the team. I really did. But first impressions and second impressions are always a little bit misleading, right? We all know that. But I still thought that she was going to be good for the team because she came in and first thing she said, I'm going to hold everybody accountable and I want everybody to get along. I'm going to show you guys what a leader is, blah, 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 right? And then, like I said, my old manager, he was awesome, but he didn't hold us accountable. So if we came late or something like that, continuously, which a lot of us did, not me, but a lot of us did. I'm sorry, I pride myself in being on time everywhere. But a lot of us came in late and, it would just be a verbal warning, but it would always be verbal warnings. And it's not fair. The reason that I come in on time is because my business operates 24/7. So it's not like I come in and then there's nobody waiting for me. We all we are all reliefs to somebody else's shift. So I relieve my overnight, my 3 p.m. relieves me. So when somebody comes late all the time, it gets annoying, right? So that's why I always made sure, on top of just not being late, I always made sure that I was there on time or early even, because I wanted to relieve my overnight. Or just any shift at work. Sometimes I would work other shifts. If I was a 3 to 11, I want to relieve my morning person, right? So I would always come in on time, but a lot of us weren't really held accountable for that. If we came in late, if we made mistakes, it would just be verbal warnings, and I did make mistakes. For me, it was just verbal warnings. I'm not saying we should have gotten write-ups, but some training towards it, right? So when she came in, she was like, I'm gonna make sure that everybody's on top of their game, everybody comes in on time. If not, you guys are going to be taught how to do it correctly. She didn't say it like that. That sounds very threatening. But she just made it seem like she was going to come in and completely restructure my department. And honestly, we did need a restructuring. We needed that as well as a leader. But she ended up not being a leader, but more of a dictator. A mean one, and a very aggressive one. When I first saw her, she was not aggressive at all. Very soft-spoken, but very determined. But very quickly, that mask fell off. And it was to the point where I was no longer happy coming into work, just because, I don't know, I guess there are expectations of a manager that I have. And those expectations are just basic respect. Respect and just being a decent human being. Anybody who knows me knows that I hate rude people. I cannot stand them. it's bad enough that I already work not my employees, but like I work for, I guess, entitled and rude guests. So I already deal with that as it is. But now I have to work alongside a rude and disrespectful manager as well. I can deal with the guests. That's what I'm paid to do. But when somebody is disrespecting me directly, disrespecting my coworkers next to me or next to any of us directly, that is when that becomes a problem. I dealt with it for a while. I was okay with it. But after about 2-3 weeks, it started getting really bad, to the point where she would tell us that she's going to write us up in front of guests and in front of us. So in front of other coworkers, hey, you did this wrong, I'm gonna write you up because that's not you, like, you know better, blah blah blah. And it's really embarrassing to work with somebody who has no common sense. If you want to write somebody up, honestly, that's your right. Go ahead. But to say that in front of other people, like my coworker got reprimanded for coming in late, and yeah, okay, fine. If you want to give her a write up, that's what you said you were gonna do. We you need that. But to say that in front of me, why are you embarrassing her? I know she came in late. I understand that. Pull her to the side and tell her something. Do not do it in front of me. Do not do it in front of my other coworkers. And then she was also just very rude. The way that she spoke to guests, as somebody in her position in the industry that we work in, talking to another human being like that is not correct. And like I said, I hate disrespectful people. I hate rude people. When I have a manager, I listen to them, or like before when I had a manager that I liked, I listen to them speak to people because I'm bad at confrontation, so that I can know what to say to them just in case they're not available or I just want to handle a situation on my own. And I got a lot better as time went on. But, I still want to learn from them. If somebody's having a really bad experience, the way that my managers, my old ones, used to bring them down and say, hey, like, I'm here for you. Just talk to me directly, or not directly. Just talk to me nicely and we'll figure something out. I listen to that and I pay attention. And then I copy that because that is a leader to me. Somebody who I can learn from. But when she would talk to people, I would listen solely so I knew how to never talk to another human being. She would talk over everybody, including guests. If a guest had an issue, she would just talk over them. So much so that one of my guests, and he was always so sweet to me, but he had an issue and she popped her head in when nobody was talking to her, popped her head in and just started talking over him. Every time he opened his mouth, she would talk over him. She wouldn't even let him get 3 words in, and I'm not exaggerating. To the point where at the end, he was like, are you gonna let me speak? And she interrupted him saying that. And he said, okay, I can't talk. And he just walked away. And I looked at her and I'm like, you didn't let him speak. And she's like, well, because he wasn't saying anything. How would you know? How would you know? You talked over him the entire time. How would you know he was not saying anything? So I couldn't. But we were still on decent terms. I didn't like who she was as a manager, but I still had like a mutual respect or whatever, right? I still had to get along with her because I had no plans of leaving yet and she was still my manager. But one of my coworkers 3 weeks ago ended up giving in her resignation. And mind you, this girl loved this job. And she was very headstrong. Very, she wasn't, I'm not going to say good at confrontation, but she stood up for herself. That was a strong girl. And she gave in her resignation. And of course, my manager had informed me of that. And we were just talking about it. And then I'm like, I wonder why. And my manager almost giddy with excitement, said, "Oh, it's because of me." And I said, "What do you mean?" And she said, "It's because she didn't like working with me." And she seemed happy about it. And I was like, okay, I'm not gonna ask, but I took note of it, right? So later on that day, my coworker who put in her resignation comes in for her 3 to 11. I was the 7 to 3, so I was already on the other side of the lobby waiting to leave, but I was right there. I could still hear all the conversations. As soon as my coworker comes in, my manager is standing right by the desk. And she says, enthusiastically, "Hi, coworker's name. You made my absolute day today." In regards to her putting in her resignation. That is when I lost all respect for her. Because number one, why are you celebrating somebody leaving because you are that difficult to work with? That girl said she wanted to get a second job, but she still wanted to leave this job because it was a great opportunity for her. She never once expressed that she wanted to leave. So my manager got under her skin that much that she put in her resignation. And you're celebrating that? Not only is she celebrating that, she's doing it in front of my coworker. She said that directly to my coworker and in front of me and my other coworker. Right there, she celebrated her resignation. That is when I lost all respect, because you do not conduct yourself that way. No matter how you feel about her, we should never know about it. If she really wanted to say that, fine. But she could have said that to my coworker directly and not damn near yell it across the entirety of the lobby. And my coworker, who has never backed down to anything, simply said, "Yeah, I know." Just like that, sad. Just upset. As a manager, the only response to somebody putting in their resignation because of you is to say, "What did I do wrong?" Because if you want to say you're a manager, and she loved saying it, "Oh, I'm a manager. I do this, like I have respect, blah, blah." She always loved saying that she was a manager. So be a manager. Hold yourself accountable as well. Because you made somebody who had no plans of leaving, leave. And now you're celebrating it. Granted, my manager always said that she wanted to get rid of this coworker as well. First of all, I should have never known about that. Let's just make that clear. But I understand that she wanted to get rid of her, but it does not matter. You do not celebrate. If you really want to make comments like that, say that to your family, to your friends. Do not say that at work, because now I'm on edge. Hey. What is she saying about me? What is she saying about any of my other coworkers when we're not there, or when we are there, honestly? So it just made me very uncomfortable. And I looked at her when she said it, and she just smiled at me. And okay, whatever. I looked at my other coworker, the one that heard it. I looked at him, and he just shook his head, shrugged his shoulders, and that's it. We talked about it the day after, but whatever. So that is when I kind of understood who she was. But I lost all respect for her that day. Fully, all respect for her. And it's really difficult for me to work alongside somebody who I have no respect for. Even if I didn't like her before, which I kind of didn't, I still had respect for her. She asked me to do something, I did it. Because ultimately, she's still my manager, but she's also just somebody who's asking me to do something, right? But after that, I still did what she said, but I stopped all communication. Anytime she tried to talk to me about something, I just said, yep. And I think she started to sense that disconnect. So she started retaliating to me. And she just started becoming rude. And I don't mean rude the way she used to be, but just a really mean person. Everything was an issue, the way that she talked to me. And she would not make fun of me, but she would constantly drag things that didn't need to be dragged for the sake of having something to be angry about. And I sensed that. And I talked to like my mom and stuff about it, and she was like, just keep saying okay. Say okay, say, I understand, just keep doing what you're doing. But she sensed that and she started to retaliate against it. And then after that, it just went downhill. There was one situation where a guest had asked to borrow one of our rooms for a meeting, literally half an hour. He just needed it for half an hour. We had a group checking in later that day that wanted to use that room, but they weren't checking in until much later. So I'm like, yeah, of course, only half an hour? Sure. Come down to me at 12 and then I'll open the door for you and you have it until 12:30. And he's like, yeah, it's literally just an interview. And I said, yeah, no problem. We made these plans for like 3 minutes. So mind you, my manager is standing to my left. So we made these plans for 3 minutes. I'm like, yeah, come down. And he's like, oh, okay, I could use it until 12:30. Like we were just making arrangements, right? She said nothing to me. Nothing. But she heard the conversation. As soon as the guest walks away, she says, Nelly, why did you give them the room? And I look at her and I'm like, what do you mean? Because he only needs it for half an hour. He's not renting it out for the whole day. And she's like, well, we have that group checking in later. They're going to be using the room. And I look at her and I'm like, yeah, I know. But he asked for half an hour and they're checking in later. And she's like, why are you doing things without asking me? And I'm like, you just heard me promise him the room for half an hour. Why didn't you stop me? And she's like, well, you should have known better. Why didn't you ask? And I'm like, what do you mean ask? You just heard me make all these plans. Obviously, I was not aware that we can't rent out a room that is currently not being used, that will not be used for another like 5 hours to this guy who wants it for 30 minutes. And she's like, you have to stop doing things without asking. Just next time, just tell me what you want. Why would you not tell me in advance? You hear me conversing with this man. Why would you not tell me that we cannot apparently rent out this room? Of course we can. She just wanted to have something to get mad at. Because there is no reason that with a 5-hour gap in between the guests wanting the room and the other people checking in later who will use that room, that I could not have given that man his 30 minutes. So when he came back down, I had to be the bad one and say, oh, sorry, actually, by the way, I cannot allow you to use it. When she could have just stopped me from making those plans if it was really that big of a deal. And those people checked in even later than when I thought they were going to check in. They checked in like 7 hours later, not 5. So he could have gotten the room. She just wanted to have something to be mad at, have something to reprimand me for. And that is when everything just clicked for me, you know. And I just couldn't work there anymore. So that's kind of when I told myself, you know, I think it's time that I just start leaving, because I can deal with rude guests here and there, but when I'm working around somebody like that for 40 hours, I can't do it, you know. So it sucks because I really did want to stay, genuinely. I had no plans of leaving, but sometimes you have to do things for the better just because, I don't know, it's not working out at the job anymore. So that was one of the biggest things. There were other things that transpired, but that was the biggest thing. But another situation that we have is at my job, we get paid for name mentions, like name reviews. And I'm the one that compiles them throughout the month. So I gather all of them, I put them in an Excel spreadsheet, and then at the beginning of the new month, I send them out to my general manager as well as my manager, right? So just so they can give us that incentive pay on our next check. And I've been doing that since a year now, never had an issue. So On the day that my coworker quit, like on her last day, we were talking, just saying goodbye and everything like that. And she tells me that she's gonna go upstairs to the office, and before she leaves, she wants to talk to my general manager about being paid for our incentives. And I said, oh yeah, absolutely, do that. And then she's like, it's been months. And I'm like, wait, what do you mean months? And she's like, yeah, we haven't gotten paid. But she said we. And I'm like, what do you mean? I've been sending them out every month. And she's like, yeah, but I promise you, you haven't been getting paid for them. So I go onto my payroll and I look, and sure enough, my last month that I was paid for incentives was in January. So I have not gotten paid for the month of February, March, April, May, and I'm filming this in the end of June, so today's June 30th, and I have not gotten paid for incentives. And I'm like, okay, what's up with this? What's going on here? And she said, yeah, they just haven't paid us. We constantly ask them, and they just say, yeah, we're gonna do it, and then nothing happens. So I never had an issue with this. I didn't even think to check, and now I feel so stupid. But I didn't even think to check because I trusted my job. I thought that they were gonna pay us. It's never something that I felt like I had to question. So, I did not say anything about it then, but the next day, the next Monday, I asked my general manager, I'm like, hey, are we getting paid for incentives? And he's like, yeah, we're just waiting on corporate to put it in for us. Automatic lie. We don't need corporate to do it. I've been here for 2 years. We've always gotten paid through incentives because our general manager or our manager just pop it in our payroll. The steps are they have to log into payroll, find our names, put in an added amount, add time, and then put in an added amount, and then hit save, and that's it. It's on our check. As long as it just took me to explain the steps is how long it would have taken them to put that money into our accounts. And them lying to us and saying that they have to go through corporate is so wrong, because that is not at all the situation. Okay, no problem. They said they were gonna do it, even though they've been saying it apparently, but they haven't done it. So we move on a couple of days. So my coworker tells me that they have stopped the incentive program as of May. Okay, it is now the middle of June. It was like June 17th or something. All right, why were we not informed as soon as they found out in May? Why is it that we have had to consistently ask for our incentives? But apparently they ended the program. So instead of just saying, hey, we'll back pay you for these, but unfortunately, the incentive program has stopped as of May. Why would they not have told us that? Why? When I asked him a couple of days ago about the incentives, was I told, yeah, we're just waiting for corporate. I was told nothing about them ending, which is why I don't believe that they ended. I just think that they didn't want to do it. But whatever, because they had months to catch up on. And whatever, fine, that's neither here or there now. But again, I am the one that sent them out in the beginning of the month. So in the month of May and in the month of June, when I sent over our incentives, why was I met with an email that said, thank you so much, we'll put these in, as opposed to, hey, you don't have to send these to us anymore? Why would I have sent them? Why was I told that they're going to get put in if apparently the incentive program has been shut down? So yeah, I don't believe that it was shut down. I just don't think they wanted to pay us. But another problem with the pay is that the way that my job does like holiday pay is that we don't get time and a half, we get an extra day added to our check. So instead of like me working and then me getting time and a half, I would get overtime for a second day. So I have been pestering my general manager and my manager since Memorial Day. What was that, May 25th, I believe? Since Memorial Day to put in our hours. Or to put in my hours, because I don't know what everybody else does. I don't know. But I have been asking them to put in my Memorial Day. Because it's my money, you know? Every time I ask them, which must have been upwards of I think 12 times, yeah, we're gonna put it in. Okay, cool. Nothing, right? So on Thursday, on the 25th, after I put in my resignation letter, I again asked him in the email. I did a little PS, like, go off the record, you know. I was like, can you please pay me for my Memorial Day, because the pay period ends on Friday the 26th, and I want to make sure that I get it in this check, because if it somehow comes in the next check, my insurance is going to take out of it, because that's how it goes. Like, their insurance always has a balance in the beginning of the pay period, and then when I get paid for that day, it takes it. So I would have only seen like 20% of my check of that day, not my check. So I asked him to please put it in before my last day, before Friday. He said, I got you. Absolutely. You know, I'll get on it. It is now June 30th. And I'm sure you guys can take a guess, if I'm telling this story, whether or not I received that Memorial Day. But yeah, I haven't. And then I had also asked him, before I put in my resignation, I had also asked him on Monday, whatever day that was, with the 22nd, before I put in my resignation and everything, I said, hey, still haven't gotten paid for it. Is it possible you can put it in today? He takes off his glasses and he's like, Nelly, look at me. I'm sorry. I thought that it was in already. This will be in by today. And I said, okay, awesome. Thank you so much. Emailed him later that day, right before I was about to leave for my shift. And I said, hey, the day's not in yet. Do you think it's okay if you get it in? He did not respond to that email, even though he's very responsive to emails. Okay, no problem. Texted him on Tuesday. Hey, I know you said you were going to put it in yesterday, but it's not in yet. He said, I got you. I'll do it today. Obviously, again, I'm telling this story. You guys know I haven't got it paid. Whatever. Okay. I'll eat that day. It doesn't look like I'm going to get it, so I'm just going to eat that day. It's fine. And that is kind of another reason I love, just because it feels like we're kind of getting played, you know? So many new managers, and now nobody knows what to do, how to do anything. But okay, that's fine, cool. But the last problem that I had, and this is a very big problem to me, is in my resignation letter, in the part where I wrote PS, I also said, can you please not tell anybody that I'm leaving? It was very important to me. And, you know, my general manager, always told me how much he valued me as an employee. He always said, like, when he came in, I'm so happy you're here, you know, I'm happy that you're the one. If I was off for my 2 days, he'd be like, oh, you're back, I'm so happy, you know, it's gonna be a good day, blah blah blah. And he's always like, I value you, you know, you're very important here, things like that. When he didn't even have to say it, he would just say that to me. So I thought that he would have awarded me with my one very, very big request, and that was to not tell anybody that I was leaving. I didn't want any awkward goodbyes, and I also didn't want to explain to people why I was leaving. I wanted to say bye to the people that I wanted to say bye to on my own terms. Not everybody had to know. And I just really nicely asked him, I'm like, if you have to tell my manager, I completely understand that. Also, side note, it takes me so long to put the sticker on this page. I don't know why I struggled with the placement. I think it's because every time I record in a weird angle. This took me so long, and it's so embarrassing watching this over. Go ahead, girl, you got it. Oh my gosh, it took me so long to place this sticker. This is so embarrassing. All right, girlie, you got it. Okay, back to the story. So, I just didn't want to go into explanations. I just wanted to have a really chill and good day, and that was it, you know? So, I come into work on Friday. Every single person knows. Every single person. And that kind of solidified for me that it was my time to go. I felt really disrespected because I asked for something that was easy. I didn't ask you for my pay again, even though I did in that email, but you know what I mean. Like, I just asked you not to tell. That's it. I was gonna tell the people that I wanted to tell on my own time, the people that I felt comfortable with telling, but now exactly what I wanted to avoid is what happened. Hey, why are you leaving? I heard you were leaving. Are you okay? Where are you gonna go? What are you gonna do? Why? I didn't want to spend my last day like that. I didn't want awkward goodbyes. I just wanted to have any regular day. And I wasn't like awarded that respect, you know? And even now thinking about it, I feel kind of bad, you know? And in the email, I had said, if you have to tell my manager for scheduling reasons, because obviously she now has to make the schedule without me on it, I fully understand. But please keep it between you and her and tell her the same thing. Just ask her not to tell anybody. She, of course, ran her mouth. A couple of my coworkers told me that she told them. She even told the new girl who was there for 2 weeks, who I liked her a lot, but she did not need to know that I was leaving. She didn't say anything to me the entire shift, but as she was about to leave, she said, "Hey, thank you so much for training me." And I was like, "You knew?" And she's like, "Yeah, I knew." And I was like, why? Why? That's not nice. That's really messed up. The new girl I did not need to have an awkward goodbye with the new girl. I was gonna tell her anyway, but like last minute, as she was leaving, "Hey, it was nice training you. I'm out." That's it. And I don't know. I know that it's not, I guess, really that big of a deal, but it's the fact that I specifically requested it. And then I have other departments coming up to me, "Hey, you're leaving, blah, blah, blah." And you know, it's just awkward. And then my coworker, oh girl, I'm gonna get to that in a second. But I specifically, like I said, asked my general manager, not to tell anybody. And my dog is being so cute right now. I wish I could show you guys a photo, but I'm recording on my phone and I have no way to take a photo of her. She is being so adorable. Wait, let me try to grab my iPad. She is being so cute. Ellie girl. No, don't move. Are you serious? Okay, well, she moved as soon as I said that. As soon as I went to go take a photo, she said, "Never mind." All right. So when I got into work that day, my general manager was sitting in the lobby, I guess, like waiting for me just to like say bye or whatever. And he's like, I had to tell your manager for the schedule. And I said, yeah, that's perfectly fine. Understandable. This is before I knew. This is before I knew that everybody already knew. But he told me, and the way that he made it sound is that he was apologetic that he had to tell my manager because of the schedule. So he was aware that I didn't want anybody else to know. And I would have given him the benefit of the doubt and said, oh, maybe he didn't tell anybody. Maybe it was only my manager. That's what I thought at first when I found out everybody knew. But my coworker whose shift I came in to relieve said it was, I loved working with you and whatever. And I look at him, and obviously I'm like, you know? And he's like, yeah, general manager told me. So he told not only my regular manager, but my general manager told somebody who did not need to know. I was gonna tell that coworker anyway because he was my second longest standing employee. We've been there the longest in our department. So like I was gonna tell him regardless, but he already knew, and it just made it awkward. And again, it might not be a big deal because I would have said bye to them anyway, but it's the fact that I wanted to say bye to them myself. I wanted to start that conversation. I didn't want it started for me. And I just, like I said, even thinking about it just upsets me a lot. It really does. Because that's not nice, You say you value me so much and then you don't. Because that's what you did. You don't value. So in between all of that, and then also it's a very small company, and there just weren't many advancement opportunities. I was essentially stuck there. I had like nowhere to advance. So, in between all of that, it was just my time to leave there. I'm still rehireable, but I don't think I'm gonna go back. I just don't want to. I got the experience and I'm super thankful for the experience because it's awesome. I learned a lot, but that job can be found anywhere with like better benefits, hopefully better people, things like that. So yeah, I am good for now. I am still looking. I don't want to be unemployed. I just didn't want to be working there. And I know I did the stupid thing of leaving before having an opportunity, but I've already been working towards it, so it's not like I'm starting fully from scratch. But I'm just gonna enjoy a couple of days of freedom and a couple of days of not having any responsibilities, not having anywhere to go, hang at home with my dog who doesn't want to take photos with me. Whatever, Ellie. And yeah, just enjoy. But that's pretty much it. That's my very, very long story. I've been talking for such a long time. My mouth is dry. I think I'm gonna do these videos again, but I think probably a little bit shorter. Today I had a lot to talk about. I wanted to just explain what's going on, but other times I don't have this much to yap about. But yeah, I hope you guys did enjoy. Like I said, I really do want to make this a series. If you guys like this form of content, I'll definitely make it a series because I do get asked this a lot. A lot of people want to see me simply just write. And then also I want to start making some Q&As as well. Maybe make another kind of video. I don't know what else I'm asked. Or maybe I just can't think about it right now. I think, one of my other really big asked questions is, what do I do when I make a mistake? Because people think that I don't make mistakes at all. And I make a lot of them. So I think I'm going to compile all of those little smaller questions because I can't make an entire video out of it. It's a very simple answer. So I think I'm gonna make a video based around a couple of the smaller questions that I can answer. Maybe I'll make it in this format as well, just so you guys can journal along with me. I don't know. We'll see. I will have my monthly flip through for June on my Instagram and TikTok if you guys want to go over there and check it out. I was thinking of also doing like a 6-month flip through on YouTube, but then I want to make a yearly one, and I don't want to like do the same content over and over unless you guys still want to see that. If you guys want to see a 6-month flip through and a year flip through, even though it's going to be the same, because obviously you guys are already gonna have seen the 6 months in my yearly flip through, I'll make that. But we'll see. I have a lot of ideas, but I definitely want to continue posting and bringing you guys content. But thank you so much for watching. I'm sorry if I'm a little bit awkward. I hope I brought you guys some inspiration to journal, and I hope you guys all journal. And please always remember to preserve the beauty of penmanship. Thank you all so much. I will see you guys later. Bye.